Hello everyone, myself is Prakash and welcome to my channel Fundamentals of Python. In today's video, we will be looking at four different types of variables in Python. This is in continuation to uh, Python for Beginner series. This is the second video in series. Do check out the first video in the series. I'll put the link below in the description box. So yeah, let's get it started. So first data type is type of variable is numeric values. So here we have specifically integer values such as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Second is float. So float has, as it says, whole floating precision values. What does it mean? It means it has a decimal point, and beyond decimal point, we can have any number of digits that will give more precision. More digits mean more precision. Therefore, it holds a floating precision value. Once I give a decimal, I can have a luxury to give more and more precision to my value. I can give 4.5, I can give 4.5.4444, I can give 4.5 point 4.5 uh, 3210101 till, like, I can go on and on. Similarly, we have a string. Strings are nothing but strings of letters. We can see here. One thing we is specific about a string is like those are code. Those are wrapped around double quotes, and yeah. And fourth is Boolean type. It takes two values, true and false. Okay, let's see them one by one in our VS Code. What does this mean? Okay, so let's say x is equal to 5. This is integer type. This is integer. Therefore, x will become of type uh, integer since it's a numeric value. If I say y is equal to 5.5, then y becomes a type of a variable of type float. If I say s is equal to let's say hello, it becomes the s becomes of type string. And if I say b is equal to true with capital T, then it becomes a variable of type boolean. Okay, so we have these variables x, y, s, and b. These are called variables. They have their values in front of them as attached to them. And uh, in Python, we don't explicitly declare the data type beforehand in while assigning a variable. Assigning a variable is like this x. If I'm saying x or a is equal to, that means I'm assigning a variable, and whatever value I give, 9 or 9.9, 9.7, or a s wrapped around codes, based upon these values, the a variable will take a data type. Okay, be it string, be it integer, be it floating point, be it boolean, or etc. So let's quickly check what our computer says about this. The What our computer says about the types of these variables. So we have this inbuilt function type to tell our users or the developers or programmers what is the type of any variable. So that is starts with t, y, p, e, as we saw in like previous lecture. We have this inbuilt function type, and if I do the type of x, and if I try to print it, then it will be printed on the console below, terminal below. Similarly for I can do for similarly I can do for other three, and just replace x with y, and here x with s, and here x with b. And let's quickly see the results by pressing the this run button we saw in the previous lecture. So first type is x is of type integer since it has a numeric value associated to it. Second, we have a floating point, a floating type, because since we have a decimal and we can give long extra precision to our value by giving further digits to our number. Third is a string since it's a letter, and also it is wrapped around by say double quotes. Single quotes are all will also do, as we saw in the previous lecture. Fourth is boolean type since it takes true or false. It can also take false. Remember, false and true are keywords. uh, True and false both has to be with capital S, a capital F and T. If I remove F, capital F, and put a small f, it becomes unknown variable which is not defined. So if I put a string, it becomes a defined, and it becomes a string. Even if with the capital F, it remains as a string. But if I don't give um, double quotes, false with capital F becomes a keyword and it is a boolean, and B becomes of type boolean. We'll see why this boolean is required in future in our programs. Okay, so the reason why we have these different types of variables in Python is because, and other languages, is because we want to apply mathematical operators on them. For example, we want to apply addition, comparison of two numbers. We can concatenate two numbers, we can add two numbers, we can concatenate two strings. So all of this will happen depending upon the type of the variable. If a variable is of type string and we are using the mathematical operator plus, then it will concatenate the two strings. Otherwise, if the values are of type integer, it will only add the numbers. For example, let's try to add uh, x to s. Add is a variable which is going to hold the value of addition of x and s. And then further, let me put it here. And then further, I'm going to print add. Let's see what we get. So it says unsupported operand types plus int and str. Remember, so first one is integer and the s is a string, so they are not going to be added together. We cannot add, let's say, kilometer to grams. This is similar as that. So yeah, these are two different quantities, you can say. Similarly, if I try to add x to y, this will be added. So x to y, these can be added together, and the type will be of float. Here is green. So we got 10.5 as expected, and let's try to check the type of the variable add. So definitely we have point decimal point in our result. So definitely we are going to get the result as float in this line of code. If I try to print the type, it will give me a float. So it gives a float value. If I try to add two strings, let's say I have one more string s2 as world world. So and we try to add s with s1, sorry, s2. We will be getting result as the concatenation of two string, what we call concatenation. You will see what it means. We have already seen it in previous video, so let's see this. A class, okay, so we are printing type here. Let's remove this type, just focus on the end result. So we are getting hello world. It has been concatenated, and same thing will happen if I turn this into a string. If I put a double quotes around it, it becomes a string. If I put a double quotes around it, it also becomes a string. And if I try to add x and y, it will be concatenated similar to hello world. So x and plus y. So it will be concatenated to similar to hello world, and the result will be 5.5. 5.5. It is actually not 55.5, it is 5.5. This is a string. All right. So with that taken care of, one more thing I want to discuss about is the typecasting. To explain that, I want to take an example where we are going to take input from user, and remember the inbuilt function used to take the input from user is input. Input is a keyword which takes a parameter. Any anything which you write within within the brackets will be displayed in the terminal. So let's try enter value, and let's assign it to some variable x. So x will hold whatever value is given to by the user. So that will be saved into x. Next statement I'm going to write is y is equal to again input, and then parenthesis, enter another value. Okay, save it and run the program. Also, we want to do the addition of these two values, so we can save it in the variable called add is equal to x plus y. And then print the result. All right, let's clear the screen. Okay, So let's run this program and see the result. Before that, let's save it. So it's asking for the first value. I'm gonna give 12. Asking for the second value, another value. I'm gonna give 12 again. Result is going to be interesting. It is not going to be 24. It is going to 1212. And that is the reason why I took this example. So 1212 is the result which we are getting. The reason is simple. The input function takes by default any input which you give to this input function. It takes it as a string. By default, it turns it into a string and then saves it into the variable. So as you can see, x is of type str. Now we have to do the typecasting in order to take input as an integer. So what is typecasting? We can put the int function in front of input, and this will turn the string back into the input. Sorry, integer. So what we are doing essentially here is we are doing the typecasting, and int is a keyword used to do the typecast. And let's check out the results. Now the first value, and now we got 24 because they turn into integer, and integer operation, the addition operation happened between these two values since they were integer, and earlier they were treated as strings. So concatenation operation happened due to this plus sign. So plus sign behaves differently depending upon the different data types. If it's a string, it will behave as concatenation. If it's integer, it will add do the addition to two integer numbers. Also, this similar to this int, we have another keyword str, which can do the typecasting. Let's say if I do str of 5, 5 we know it's a numerical value, and we are doing the typecasting of 5 and saving it into the variable v is equal to str of 5, and let's try to print the type of v. We are going to get result as str. So okay, let's first comment it out. We Because we don't want, you can comment it out with control and question mark. So it has been commented out, and let's run this program again. So we got class as integer, a string. Since we did the typecasting using the str keyword, the 5 turned into a string. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and also stay tuned for the next video.